Good morning. Welcome to our live weekly show. My name is Afton Porter. I am your life coach and fashion stylist. And today we're talking about identity versus purpose. And today's actually my daughter's 14th birthday. So this is pre-recorded so that I could be there present with her today and also still be here with you with our morning time together, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. I have my drink here. I am here with you in spirit, and I just wanted to share some thoughts with you today for your Wednesday to help you carry you through the rest of the week. So, today, as we talk about our identity versus purpose, I want you to think of what you identify with and what your purpose is. So, there is a difference between identity and purpose, and sometimes these lines get blurred. And when I'm meeting with women who are going through a big transition, whether they're going back to work, whether they're coming home from work, retiring, empty nesting, having babies, um, all the things. Every time there's a big transition, there's these thoughts that go through our minds. Often, what I hear is, I don't know who I am anymore. I've lost my identity. Have you ever said that to yourself? Gone through something and you're like, I don't even know who I am. I don't know what I love. I don't know what I want to do. I'm just feeling lost and not even sure what's up and what's down. Everything feels so chaotic. And when this happens, when there's a big transition, that is a very normal feeling because what we're used to doing changes. And a lot of the times, what we do is giving us our identity. And without the doing, we come back to ourselves and we're like, I don't know. I don't know this about me anymore. And unfortunately, a lot of times as mamas, when you have little children, everything else seems more important than ourselves. Everything to feeding, clothing, sleeping, um, trying to do all the things and all the fires that come up that need to get put out, all the emergencies that we didn't feel like we had control over come up every single day, right? And some of the things that we may have wanted to do, we've put on hold and we stop thinking about them. And all of our energy is into those little people that are very needy. And honestly, there's no work that is like mothering and the work of being a mother. And sometimes when that's no longer needed, then empty nesting kind of feeling, it's like you almost feel like you've lost your purpose because your doing is changing. Or maybe you've been wearing a hat of caretaking your parents and that's no longer needed. We have these different identities: soccer mom, school parent mom, doing all the things like PTA and all those. I'm a homeschool mom. I wear that hat. And when we start switching these hats, things kind of get jumbled up. And if you're lucky enough to be going through this without a transition, that's actually a good thing because you're not just dealing with the big transition, or you don't have to deal with the big transition along the way. You can be refocusing on who you are and what your purpose is without all that going on, right? But oftentimes we don't. So maybe you're not going through a transition right now. Maybe you see one coming up. Right now is a wonderful time to start thinking about your identity and your purpose. And if you're in the midst of a big transition right now, I know that as a whole, our country and the world has been going through lots of transitions with quotation marks, unprecedented for the last 2 years. Maybe you feel like you're in this space right now. Identity versus purpose. Identity is who you are. Your identity is who you are. And really, that never changes. Who you are does not change. It's who you are in to the core. I would also put in this identity specific things that are unique to you. So you might want to put on a piece of paper things that you identify with that are unique to you and not to every female, not to every mom, not to every divorced woman, not to every one that's lost their spouse, not to everyone who would call themselves a Christ follower or a child of God. Okay. What is unique, specific to you? And so there might be, I know, you know, working with Christians, they're like, well, I know I'm a child of God. Well, yes, you are. But what else? You can't just find your identity in that one thing because you have to now go live your life. And each of us is unique. And you need to be grounded in who you are in addition to that. Okay. If you believe you are a child of God, what is specific things that you have been gifted with? Okay. That's what you would place there. If you are like, I'm a human, I'm part of, the race of humanity. Okay. What is different and specific to you? How are you unique from all the other humans? Okay. We all have these specific gifts that we have. What are they? That is where your identity goes. Okay. What do you identify with? Make a list of those things. That is your identity. It will not change. Okay. Well, m- maybe little nuances like your favorite color, the music you like to listen to, your personal style. Those things may change. But to the core, your core identity that does not change no matter what your purpose is at the time. Now let's go over to the other page or the other side of the, wherever you're writing this down, your purpose. Your purpose that you are living today is going to change. It's going to evolve. And a lot of times when this happens, that's when kind of chaos kind of changes in our life. And we start feeling like, what is my purpose? If you want to know what your purpose is right now, it's what you are doing. That's your purpose. Okay. It's not some deep, philosophical thing. Your purpose is what you're doing right now. If you want to change your purpose, you 100% can. You get to decide what your purpose is. Okay, so that's going to look differently at different stages. If you are a new mom, then your purpose might be spending a lot of time with those children and feeding and changing diapers and all the things that goes to taking care of them. You might be like me, a homeschool mom, where my purpose for a good chunk of the day is to be teaching my children. Also, part of my purpose is to be nurturing and taking care of the women that I work with, my clients, and those in my group coaching program, those that I work one-on-one. Part of my purpose is to take care of them too. So, how we are spending our time is determining our purpose. And when we decide to change those hats, or when we decide to change our time, we might need to go through coaching. That's what coaching is so good for, is to help us with that transition. Maybe we need to find a new purpose, because sometimes the purpose is right in front of our face. That baby needs a diaper change. My 15-year-old is asking for dinner, right? It's in our face. And we need to take care of that. But what a beautiful opportunity it is to really do some soul searching and pondering when we get to decide. If you are in a point in your life where you no longer, even though you enjoyed it, maybe you loved every moment your kids were in your house with you, and they're adults and they are all living their own life, and nothing is in your face telling you what your purpose is, right? You get to decide what that is. And guess what? There's no wrong choice. There's no wrong choice. You have the wide, wide world. You might want to look at what your identity is to determine how you want to spend your time. What are some special gifts that is unique to you, that you've been given, that you can now start sharing in the world to make impact in a way that you've never been able to do before, because you've had other things that you needed to take care of. And how lucky is that? And so that time when you are given an opportunity to look at that, where you've never had that before, that's where it can get a little scary. And that's where it's like, I've never been able to do that. Now you do. What a wonderful opportunity that is. Yes, you loved what you did in the past. Yes, you might long for that. And then there might be some sadness associated with that. And those are feelings that you can work through. But then it's time to take a close look of how you want to spend your time. You're not lost. You know who you are. And if you need to be reminded, go back to your list of your identity, of who you are. That doesn't change. How do you want to spend your time going forward? And decide. And if you make a decision and you change your mind that maybe that's not what you want to do, great. Now you know that's not what you want to do, and you get to do something else. You can't go wrong. Everything that is, excuse me, everything that is in our life is our work to do, right? It's our life experience, and it all builds to the next level. So whatever it was that you learned on that journey down one path that you now decided isn't for you, is still knowledge, experience that you're going to take with you to your next stop. So identity is who you are. Purpose is how you spend your time. It's not a deep, dark secret that's hard to uncover. What are you doing? What changes would you like to make? Identity is who you're being, who you are in the core. Purpose is what you're doing. So decide, what do you want your purpose to be? And go out and do it. Some things that might come up when you're thinking like a style icon. So some things might come up while you're looking at your purpose, while you're deciding. Self-image is one thing. How are you viewing yourself? You listed your identity, your who you are. How do you feel about that person? How are you viewing you? Do you like what you see? Sometimes it's a no. Sometimes you might not like what you see. And that's where it gets hard. How can you change your thoughts about you so that you can go and do and have the courage and stop avoiding the thing that you're being scared of? That is keeping you from your purpose that you want to do. Remember, there's nobody out there saying this is what you have to do. But something that you want to do. We don't want to self-sabotage. So that can happen sometimes. Sometimes you might decide there's some education that you need to do. And that's great. Go and learn that. There's no age requirement on anything that you want to do. There's no like, okay, you've topped the age requirement, now you can't do that. Okay, anything that's involved in your purpose, you can do. Nothing is stopping you, but how you are viewing yourself. So take a look at that if you're having some trouble making a decision or taking the steps of actually doing it. Okay, how are you spending your time? How are you viewing yourself? How do you view you? All those things listed in your identity. How are you viewing your personality? How are you viewing your past experiences? Okay, your self-image, how you're viewing yourself is guiding your decisions. So let's make sure that you are choosing those things that you truly want to do and that you are identifying what those are. A lot of us don't even know what we truly want to do. We know we don't want to do that. We know we want to stay away from that. But so few of us know what we truly want to do. What a wonderful opportunity to decide how you want to spend your time. What do you want? And go into it. All right. Think like a style icon this week, and we'll talk to you soon. Oh, one more thing. We have a style makeover coming up December 16th. Go to styleguidesociety.com/style to get registered for the style makeover that's coming up. Step into 2022 with an elevated self-image and knowing what your style superpower is, okay, and have a plan of how that's going to look for 2022. So get in that style makeover. The style makeover is a makeover from the inside out, what you look like on the outside and how you view yourself from the inside. All right. See you at the style makeover. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.